every medium carries a physical signature, not just as form, but as presence. Film grain is the rust of celluloid. Vinyl crackle is the breath of spinning plastic. These are not flaws. They're fingerprints left by the machinery of their time. We come to trust them because we associate them with something older, more real. Roland Barthes once said that a photograph is that has been an imprint from another space and moment, which means the medium itself becomes proof of existence. But here's where it gets strange. These flaws aren't just signs of authenticity. They're also what the new media tries to imitate when they arrive. Neil Postman warned that every medium redefines what counts as real. When television took over public life, it didn't just deliver news, it rewrote the rules of how we expect information to behave. A printed newspaper can yellow with age and still feel trustworthy. A TV broadcast, not so much. But once media moves from physical to digital, those old signs disappear. And yet, people begin craving them. That's why streaming services add vinyl crackle or film grain as filters, not just for style, but for reassurance. We want the noise because it tells us something human might have touched this before. So we end up in an odd loop. The authentic becomes the faked, and then the faked becomes real again. A digital album simulates vinyl distortion, not to be ironic, but because that's what authenticity now sounds like. The same logic applies to deepfakes.
Humanization in media was all about making machines feel human, adding subtle timing and velocity shifts to break the robotic perfection.
Once, authenticity was the product of human imperfection. Handwritten letters with smudged ink, or a vinyl crackle in the silence between songs. Now, these signs are not accidents, but features engineered by algorithms. AI. Handwriting tools replicate the slant of cursive to mimic sincerity, while photo filters simulate film grain, as if it were a moral stance against digital sterility. Authenticity is no longer something discovered. It's something manufactured, sold back to us in packets labeled natural or personal. Spoofing has become a product category, a commodity. For decades, musicians used analog techniques to make machines feel alive, bending notes with vibrato or warping tape speed. Today, digital production software offers a button called Humanize, which adjusts the timing and velocity of synthetic performances to simulate natural fluctuation. This isn't a technical flaw being corrected. It's an aesthetic decision made by engineers who understand that listeners crave the illusion of effort, even when it's entirely fake. The machine doesn't need to be human, just convincingly close enough. As spoofed authenticity becomes widespread, systems emerge to detect fakes. Forensic image tools scan for digital fingerprints, and music production forums debate the legitimacy of algorithmically humanized tracks. But these detection systems only spur more sophisticated spoofing, creating a feedback loop between authenticity and counterfeiting. The market thrives on both sides. Buyers want proof that something is real. AI-generated content is riddled with what we call glitches, repetitive phrasing, strange logic jumps, or inconsistent details. These aren't bugs in the system exactly, but byproducts of how AI assembles meaning from data patterns. What users see are not errors, but evidence. A stuttering sentence becomes a sign that something is trying too hard to sound human. The machine's struggle masquerades as vulnerability, and we mistake it for authenticity. Just this week, the New York Times reported that soldiers appearing in war videos may not be real. One video showed troops marching. Another showed a man waving a machete from a boat. Both later debunked as AI-generated forgeries. But here's the twist. These fakes were convincing enough to demand our attention precisely because they were flawed. The uncanny valley of expression, the slightly off rhythm in speech, it all mimicked human imperfection so closely it became believable.
Here, under one roof, is found the most modern equipment.
We've spent this essay dissecting how synthetic media creates new artifacts, glitches in code that we reinterpret as authenticity, human touch, or character. This process turns machine flaws into cultural currency. But here's the rub. When inconsistencies become marketable signals of realness, they're no longer honest byproducts. They're manufactured features. As Postman warned, we've already made peace with letting algorithms decide what feels real. The value we once placed on human wisdom, on messy, inconsistent expression, is being replaced by systems that perfect imperfections. In this trust economy, even our doubts are commodified. This cycle becomes recursive. The very essay you're reading may be algorithmically generated, another curated inconsistency. If authenticity is no longer about origin but appearance, we risk living in a world where every truth requires a counterfeit twin to feel real.